Let me ask you something. What could you do with an extra hour each day? Most people would say, not much. But those people would be wrong, dramatically wrong. An hour a day is 7 hours a week. That's 365 hours a year. That's over 9 40-hour work weeks. Imagine what you could accomplish with 9 extra work weeks per year. I learned early on that success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Failure, on the other hand, is simply a few errors in judgment repeated every day. It's the accumulation that makes the difference. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. So what if you took just 60 minutes, 1 hour out of the 24 you're given each day, and dedicated it to transformation? What might happen? I've always said that if you wish to be successful, study success. If you wish to be happy, study happiness. If you wish to be wealthy, study wealth. And the key is not to wish for fewer problems. The key is to wish for more skills. Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Let me share something with you that changed my life. When I was a young man, I met my mentor, Mr. Schoff. He asked me, Jim, how much money have you got saved? I said, none. He said, who sold you on that plan? I thought that was a nice way to look at it. You see, it's not what happens that determines your life's future. It's what you do about what happens. All of us are in the same boat, so to speak. We all have about the same amount of time, the same seasons, the same opportunities. The difference is what we do with those seasons and opportunities. Now, let's talk about this hour, these 60 minutes. Imagine carving out just 1 hour each day, dedicated exclusively to your personal growth and development. Not watching television, not scrolling through social media, not doing the dishes or answering emails. 1 hour completely focused on moving your life forward. What might you do with this time? Let me suggest a few ideas. First, you could read. Did you know that the average American reads less than 1 book per year? Yet the average CEO reads 4 to 5 books per month. Coincidence? I think not. Reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. In just 60 minutes a day, you could read about 30 pages. That's a book every week or two. That's 30 to 50 books a year. Imagine the wisdom, the insights, the strategies you would gain with that kind of input into your mind. I often tell people, don't just read a book, absorb it. Make it a part of you. Take notes, highlight, think deeply. Ask yourself, how can I use this today? You don't need to read the whole library, just a well-chosen few books that can change your life. Second, you could plan. Most people spend more time planning their vacation than they do planning their lives. It's no wonder they end up somewhere they never intended to go. Use part of your daily hour to review your goals. Plan your day, your week, your month. Remember, failing to plan is planning to fail. I learned long ago to use the power of reflection. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I do right today? What would I do differently? What did I learn? This process of self-examination is priceless. It's like holding up a mirror to your life and making the necessary adjustments before moving forward. Third, you could learn a new skill. In our rapidly changing world, your ability to adapt and learn new things might be your most valuable asset. What skill, if you developed it, would have the greatest positive impact on your career? Your relationships, your health? An hour a day focused on that skill would make you a master in surprisingly short order. Remember, we get paid for bringing value to the marketplace, and the marketplace rewards value. So the question is not how much do I get paid per hour? The question is how valuable have I made myself per hour? You know what's interesting about this 1 hour investment? Most people won't do it. They'll say they don't have the time. But here's what I've discovered. You don't find time for important things, you make time. Everyone has the same 24 hours. The difference is in how you use them. I'm reminded of a story about 2 woodcutters. Each was given an axe and told to cut down as many trees as possible in a day. The first woodcutter worked tirelessly, taking only brief breaks for water. The second took what seemed like an unusual number of breaks. At the end of the day, the second woodcutter had cut down significantly more trees. The first woodcutter asked, how did you do it? You took so many breaks. The second replied, I wasn't taking breaks. I was sharpening my axe. That's what your daily hour is. It's sharpening your axe. It's making sure that the time you do spend working is as effective as possible. Now, let me address an objection I often hear, but Jim, I'm already so busy. Where am I going to find an extra hour? And my answer is simple. You don't find it, you create it. Maybe you get up an hour earlier. Maybe you watch 1 less hour of television. Maybe you learn to say no to things that aren't serving your highest goals. You see, we all have the same 24 hours. The difference is in our priorities. And here's a truth that might be uncomfortable. Your life right now is a reflection of your past priorities. If you want something different, you need different priorities. I've noticed that people fall into one of three groups. The first group makes things happen. The second group watches things happen. And the third group wonders what happened. Which group are you in? Making this 1 hour commitment puts you firmly in the first group. It's a declaration that you're taking control of your future, that you're not going to drift through life hoping things get better. Let me share with you a strategy for making the most of your daily hour. I call it the rule of 5. Just as a woodpecker can take down a mighty oak by pecking at it consistently, you can achieve remarkable things by doing 5 specific actions every day that move you toward your goals. What are your 5? What are the 5 things that done consistently over time would transform your life? Maybe it's reading 10 pages of a good book, making 3 sales calls, exercising for 20 minutes, writing in your journal, and reviewing your goals. Whatever they are, identify them and do them every single day during your hour. The power is in the consistency. Anyone can do something once. The successful do it daily. Now, let me talk to you about another powerful use of your hour: thinking, real thinking. Most people never really think. They just recycle thoughts. But true thinking, questioning assumptions, exploring alternatives, weighing options, that's rare. And it's valuable. Spend part of your hour just thinking. Ask yourself powerful questions. What's working in my life? What isn't? What opportunities am I not seeing? What problems do I need to solve? What action should I take today that my future self will thank me for? You know, questions are like magnets. They draw answers to them. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself consistently. Another powerful use of your hour is visualization. See your goals as already complete. Experience the feelings of having achieved what you set out to do. This isn't just positive thinking, it's strategic. When you vividly imagine your success, your subconscious mind accepts it as a command and begins working to bring it about. I've often said that you must have goals that excite you, that scare you a little. Goals that make you stretch and grow. Use part of your hour to reconnect with those goals, to feel the inspiration that comes from pursuing something meaningful. You see, discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. The small discipline of an hour a day is nothing compared to the pain of knowing you could have had a different life if only you'd made better use of your time. Let's talk about the compound effect of this daily hour. Just as money compounds over time in investments, so too does personal growth. The person you become after a week of daily reading isn't much different than who you were before. But the person you become after a year, after 5 years, unrecognizable? That's because growth compounds. Each new insight builds on previous insights. Each new skill makes acquiring the next skill easier. Each small success builds confidence that leads to bigger successes. I learned from my mentor that success is not to be pursued, it is to be attracted by the person you become. And who you become is determined by how you invest your time. Now, some of you might be thinking, this all sounds good, Jim, but I've tried things like this before and couldn't stick with it. Let me address that directly. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. And building that bridge is not easy. If it were easy, everyone would do it. The fact that it's hard is what makes it valuable. So how do you build discipline? 1 day at a time, 1 hour at a time. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Here's a strategy that has worked for countless people I've mentored over the years. It's called Don't Break the Chain. Get a calendar, and every day that you complete your hour, mark an X on that day. After a few days, you'll have a chain of X. Your only job is to not break the chain. There's something psychologically powerful about seeing that visual representation of your commitment. You won't want to break the streak. Another strategy is to make yourself accountable. Tell someone what you're planning to do. Better yet, find a partner who will commit to the same challenge. Check in with each other daily. Celebrate your wins together. The power of association cannot be overstated. You become like the people you spend the most time with. So part of your transformation might need to include changing who you associate with. Seek out people who are where you want to be, who have the habits you want to develop. I'm often asked, what's the best time to plant a tree? The answer is 20 years ago. The second best time is today. The same is true for your hour of transformation. The best time to have started was years ago. The second best time is today. You know, there's a concept in economics called opportunity cost. It's what you give up when you choose one option over another. The opportunity cost of not investing this hour daily is staggering. It's the better career you didn't have, the financial security you didn't achieve, the impacts you didn't make, the contribution you didn't offer. Don't let that be your story. Instead, make a different choice. Choose to invest in yourself daily. Choose growth over comfort. Choose discipline over regret. Let me share with you another powerful concept, the concept of seasons. Life moves in seasons, and each season serves a purpose. There's a season for planting, a season for cultivating, and a season for harvesting. You cannot harvest what you haven't planted and cultivated. Your daily hour is primarily a time of planting and cultivating. You're planting seeds of knowledge, of skills, of habits that will later yield a harvest beyond your imagination. But you must be patient. The seeds need time to grow. This is where many people fail. They plant on Monday, dig up the soil on Wednesday to see if anything's happening, and then declare that planting doesn't work. Give your seeds time to take root. I want to talk to you now about the hour of the day you choose for your transformation time. There's wisdom in making it the first hour of your day. Why? Because willpower is like a muscle. It gets fatigued with use. By putting your hour first, you ensure it gets your best energy, not what's left over after a draining day. There's also something powerful about setting the tone for your day. When you begin with purposeful action toward your goals, it creates momentum that carries through everything else. Now, let me be very clear about something. This hour is not about being busy, it's about being productive. There's a world of difference. Busy is doing stuff. Productive is doing the right stuff, the things that move your life forward in meaningful ways. So be thoughtful about how you use this time, design it with intention, and periodically review and adjust based on results. If after a month you're not seeing movement toward your goals, change your approach. You know, I've often said that formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune. Your daily hour is your commitment to self-education, to becoming more than you currently are so that you can do more than you currently do and have more than you currently have. This isn't just about material success, though. It's about becoming the person you were meant to be. It's about fulfilling your potential and making your unique contribution to the world. Imagine for a moment if you consistently invested this hour, day after day, month after month, year after year. Where might you be 5 years from now? 10 years from now? The possibilities are limitless. Some people look at successful individuals and think they were just lucky, or they had special talents, or they had advantages. But what you don't see are the countless hours of preparation that preceded their overnight success. You've probably heard the saying that it takes about 10,000 hours to master something. Well, at an hour a day, that's about 27 years. But here's the good news. You don't need to be a master to start benefiting. Even 100 hours, that's just over 3 months of your daily hour, can transform your skills and your results in any area. Think about what area of your life, if improved, would have the greatest positive impact on everything else. Maybe it's your health, maybe it's your relationships, maybe it's your financial literacy. Whatever it is, that's where I'd suggest you focus your initial hours. Let me share with you another powerful principle, the principle of slight edge. Small, seemingly insignificant actions, repeated consistently over time, create massive results. The difference between success and failure is often just a few simple disciplines practiced every day. For example, reading just 10 pages of a good book each day would result in about 12 to 15 books per year. Over a decade, that's well over 100 books. How much wisdom would you gain? How much would your thinking improve? How many ideas would you generate? Or consider saving. Just $5 a day invested at a modest return grows to over $100,000 in 30 years. Small amounts consistently applied yield remarkable results. This is the magic of your hour. It's not about dramatic changes, it's about consistent, small improvements that compound over time. You know, I've met thousands of people over my career, and I've noticed something interesting. The most successful aren't necessarily the most talented or the most intelligent. They're the most consistent. They show up day after day, doing the things that others aren't willing to do, especially when they don't feel like it. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going, and that's why this daily hour is so powerful, because over time it becomes a habit. It becomes part of who you are, not just something you do. Let me address another objection I sometimes hear, but Jim, what if I miss a day? My answer is simple. Get back on track immediately. Missing one day is an incident. Missing 2 days is the start of a new habit. Don't let one slip become a slide. Remember, we're aiming for progress, not perfection. If you invest your hour 5 days out of 7, that's still vastly better than not doing it at all. Be gentle with yourself when you fall short, but be strict about getting back on track. Now, let's talk about tracking your progress. What gets measured gets improved. Keep a journal of how you spend your hour each day and what insights or progress you made. Review it periodically to see patterns and make adjustments. You might also consider what I call the quarterly review. Every 3 months, take a deeper look at how your daily hour is moving you toward your goals. Is it working? What needs to change? This regular review process ensures you're not just busy, but actually moving in the right direction. You know, there's a certain courage required to invest in yourself this way. It means believing that you're worth the investment. It means believing that you can grow, that you can change, that you can improve. And I'm here to tell you, you absolutely can. I've seen people transform their lives through these principles. People who started with nothing but a commitment to daily improvement and built extraordinary lives. If they can do it, so can you. Now let me share with you what I consider to be the 5 key areas where your daily hour might be invested for maximum return. The first is mindset, your philosophy, your beliefs, your attitudes. These create the foundation for everything else. Read books that challenge your thinking. Listen to programs that elevate your expectations. Journal about limiting beliefs you need to overcome. The second is skills. What specific abilities, if developed, will most improve your results? Sales skills, communication, technical knowledge, leadership, financial literacy. Identify these and systematically develop them. The third is relationships. Success is a team sport. Use part of your hour to nurture important relationships, to expand your network, to learn from mentors, to contribute to others. The fourth is health. Your body is the vehicle through which you experience life. Invest time in learning about nutrition, exercise, rest, stress management. Then apply what you learn. And the fifth is contribution. Ultimately, our fulfillment comes not from what we get, but from what we give. How can you add more value? How can you serve more people? How can you make a bigger difference? Rotate your focus among these 5 areas or concentrate on the one that needs the most attention right now. Either way, consistent investment will yield remarkable returns. You know, one of the most powerful questions you can ask yourself is this: who do I need to become to get what I want? Notice it's not what do I need to do, but who do I need to become? Because doing flows from being. Your daily hour is about becoming. I've often told the story of 2 men who were each asked to build a house. The first rushed right into it, starting with the foundation on day 1. The second spent the first week just sharpening his tools and studying the blueprints. By the end of the month, the first man had made more visible progress, but by the end of the year, the second had built a far superior home in less time with fewer mistakes. Your hour is like sharpening your tools and studying the blueprints before you build. It feels like it's slowing you down, but it's actually speeding you up. Now, let me address an important point. You will face resistance. Stephen Pressfield calls it the resistance in his book, The War of Art. It's that internal force that fights against your best efforts at growth and change. You'll find excuses not to do your hour. You'll rationalize that you're too busy today, that you can make it up tomorrow. You'll question whether it's really making a difference. This resistance is normal. Everyone faces it. The successful are those who push through it. Remember, the pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. I want to talk to you now about what I call the ripple effect. Your daily hour doesn't just impact the specific areas you focus on. It ripples out to touch every part of your life. When you invest in learning, you don't just gain knowledge, you gain confidence. When you invest in your skills, you don't just become more capable, you become more valuable in the marketplace. When you invest in your health, you don't just feel better, you have more energy for everything else. Everything affects everything. This is why even a single hour properly invested can transform your entire life over time. I'm often asked about balance. Jim, if I focus intensely on self-improvement for an hour a day, won't my life become unbalanced? My answer is that balance doesn't mean giving equal time to everything. It means giving appropriate time to everything. Some seasons of life require intense focus in one area. That's not imbalance, that's strategic concentration. Your daily hour is part of a balanced life because it's an investment in becoming the person who can excel in all areas of life. Let me share with you another powerful concept, the concept of identity. The most lasting changes happen when they become part of your identity, part of how you see yourself. Initially, your daily hour will require conscious effort and discipline, but eventually it becomes part of who you are. You're no longer someone trying to read more, you're a reader. You're no longer someone trying to eat healthier. You're someone who values and protects their health. When these changes enter your identity, they become vastly easier to maintain because they align with how you see yourself. Your daily hour accelerates this process. I've often said that success leaves clues. If you want to be successful, study success. Find people who have achieved what you want to achieve and learn from them. What books do they read? How do they spend their time? What habits have they developed? Your daily hour might well include this kind of study, not just of principles, but of people who embody those principles. Success is not an accident. It's the result of specific habits and mindsets that you can adopt. Now, I want to address something important. Some of you might be thinking, I'm too old to start something like this. It's too late for me. Let me tell you, it's never too late to begin. I have a friend who started learning the piano at 65. By 70, he was giving small concerts for friends. Another acquaintance went back to college at 50 and became a psychologist by 56. It's never too late to become what you might have been. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. The same is true for your hour of transformation. Others might be thinking, I've tried personal development before and it didn't work. My question to you is, did you give it enough time? Most people overestimate what they can achieve in a year and vastly underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years. Personal development is not a microwave, it's a crock pot. It takes time. But the results, when they come, are worth every minute of investment. You know, I've often said that the book you don't read won't help you. The exercise program you don't follow won't make you fitter. The ideas you don't use won't produce results. Knowledge isn't power, it's potential power. It becomes power only when it's applied. That's why your daily hour must include application, not just learning. Ask yourself, how can I use this today? Then do it. Take action on what you learn. I want to share with you another powerful practice for your daily hour, the practice of gratitude. Take a few minutes each day to write down 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. This simple habit transforms your perspective. It shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right, from what's missing to what's present. Gratitude is the antidote to many negative emotions, to entitlement, to envy, dissatisfaction. And a positive emotional state is fertile ground for growth and creativity. Let me tell you about another powerful practice, affirmations. Now, I'm not talking about fluffy, feel-good statements that have no basis in reality. I'm talking about crafting statements that reflect who you're committed to becoming, then reading them daily during your hour. For example, I am disciplined and focused. I follow through on my commitments. I am becoming more valuable in the marketplace every day. These statements, when reviewed consistently, begin to shape your subconscious thinking. The mind moves in the direction of its dominant thoughts. Make sure those dominant thoughts are taking you where you want to go. Now let's talk about another potential use of your hour, meditation or mindfulness practice. In our busy, distracted world, the ability to be fully present, to quiet the mind, to focus at will, these are increasingly rare and valuable skills. Even 10 to 15 minutes of your hour invested in developing these skills can yield enormous dividends in terms of clarity, creativity, and emotional equilibrium. I want to address an objection I sometimes hear, but Jim, I'm not motivated every day to do this. Here's a powerful truth. Action often precedes motivation, not the other way around. You don't have to feel like doing your hour to do it. Just start, and often the motivation will follow. This is a profound insight. Successful people do what needs to be done whether they feel like it or not. They've learned to lead their feelings rather than be led by them. Let me share with you another powerful practice for your daily hour, mastermind groups. Napoleon Hill, in his classic Think and Grow Rich, identified the mastermind principle as a cornerstone of success. It's the idea that 2 or more minds focused on the same goal create a third, more powerful mind. Consider using part of your hour to connect with a mastermind group, either in person or virtually. Share ideas, get feedback, be accountable, solve problems together. The right group can multiply your progress dramatically. You know, I've noticed that many people approach personal development as if it's about fixing what's wrong with them. I suggest a different perspective. It's not about fixing, it's about expanding. It's about becoming more of who you truly are. You're not broken. You're a seed with enormous potential for growth. Your daily hour is water and sunlight for that seed. Let me tell you about another powerful principle, the principle of iterative improvement. The idea is simple. You don't have to get it perfect. You just have to get it going. Then improve as you go. Your first week of daily hours won't be perfect. That's okay. Learn from what works and what doesn't. Make adjustments. Over time, you'll develop a routine that's incredibly effective for you specifically. I want to share with you a concept that has made an enormous difference in my life and in the lives of countless others I've mentored. It's the concept of the slight edge, which I mentioned earlier. Small, positive actions repeated consistently over time create stunning results. Consider health. One healthy meal won't transform your body, but one healthy meal per day, every day for a year. That creates significant change. The same is true for every area of your life. Your daily hour is the embodiment of the slight edge principle. It's not any single hour that creates transformation. It's the accumulation of those hours over months and years. I'm often asked, what's the most important quality for success? My answer is always the same: discipline. The ability to do what needs to be done when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Your daily hour builds this muscle of discipline, and that muscle serves you in every area of life. Let me share a personal story. When I first started my own journey of personal development, I was skeptical. Did all this reading and learning and growing really make a difference? But I committed to giving it a fair try, 1 hour a day for 6 months. After 3 months, I noticed small changes, a bit more confidence, a few better decisions, slightly improved relationships. After 6 months, others were commenting on the changes in me. After a year, my life was on an entirely different trajectory. The changes were gradual, so gradual that on a day-to-day basis, they were hard to notice. But over time, they were unmistakable. Like the hour hand of a clock, you can't see it move, but it eventually makes a complete revolution. That's how your daily hour works. The changes are subtle at first, but they accumulate into dramatic transformation. You know, I've often said that we must all suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The difference is that discipline weighs ounces while regret weighs tons. Your daily hour is an investment that helps you avoid the crushing weight of regret. Imagine yourself 5 years from now looking back on this moment. Will you wish you had started this daily practice? I think you know the answer. Let me share with you another powerful insight: the importance of environment. Your environment can either support your growth or hinder it. Create a specific place for your daily hour, a place that triggers your mind to focus, to learn, to grow. It might be a particular chair with good lighting and minimal distractions. It might be a specific coffee shop. It might be a home office or even a closet converted into a learning space. The specific place matters less than the association your mind makes with it. I want to address another common challenge, the challenge of consistency when life gets busy or difficult. We all face seasons of unusual demands: a new baby, a job change, an illness, a move. During these times, you might need to temporarily reduce your hour to 30 minutes or even 15, but don't eliminate entirely. Even 15 minutes of focused investment in yourself, maintained through difficult times, keeps the habit alive and signals to yourself that your growth remains a priority. Then, when life settles down, you can expand back to the full hour. You know, there's a concept in physics called activation energy. It's the minimum energy needed to start a chemical reaction. The same principle applies to habits. Starting is often the hardest part, but once you begin, momentum takes over. That's why I suggest you make starting your hour as easy as possible. Have your book ready. Have your journal open. Have your learning materials at hand. Reduce the activation energy needed to begin. Let me share with you another powerful practice: teaching what you learn. When you teach something, you deepen your own understanding. Consider using part of your hour to articulate what you're learning, either by writing about it, recording yourself explaining it, or actually teaching it to someone else. The Roman philosopher Seneca said, "While we teach, we learn. Make teaching a regular part of your growth process." I want to talk now about the relationship between your daily hour and your self-image. How you see yourself, your beliefs about your capabilities, your worth, your potential, profoundly affects what you achieve. Your daily hour gradually transforms your self-image. As you learn and grow and apply what you learn, you begin to see yourself as someone who can learn, who can grow, who can change. This expanding self-image then allows for greater achievement, which further enhances your self-image. It's a virtuous cycle. You know, I've often said that the major value in life is not what you get. The major value is what you become. Your daily hour is primarily about becoming more disciplined, more knowledgeable, more skilled, more confident, more of who you were meant to be. Let me share with you a powerful question to ask during your daily hour. What's the best use of this time right now? Some days it might be reading. Other days it might be planning. Still others it might be reflecting on a problem or challenge you're facing. Be flexible while remaining committed to the overall purpose of your growth and transformation. I want to address a concern I sometimes hear. What if I'm not seeing results? My answer is to give the process time, but also to examine how you're using your hour. Are you focused? Are you applying what you learn? Are you working on the right things, the things that will truly move your life forward? Remember, activity is not accomplishment. Being busy during your hour isn't enough. You need to be productive. Focus on high leverage activities that create real progress. You know, there's something powerful about making a public commitment to your daily hour. Tell people what you're doing, not in a boastful way, but as a way of strengthening your own resolve and creating positive pressure to follow through. When we declare our intentions publicly, we're more likely to follow through. We don't want to lose face by quitting. Use this psychological principle to your advantage. Let me share with you another powerful practice, the practice of reviewing. Regularly look back at what you've learned, what you've applied, what's worked, what hasn't. This review process helps anchor the learning and reveals patterns you might otherwise miss. Consider using the last day of each month to review your journal entries, your notes, your progress for that month. This process of review consolidates your gains and prepares you for even greater progress in the month ahead. I want to address one more potential objection, the objection of time. You might be thinking, but I'm already so busy. Where will I find an hour? Let me suggest two approaches. First, examine how you're currently using your time. Most of us waste far more than an hour each day on low-value activities, excessive television, social media scrolling, video games, or just general inefficiency. Reclaim that time. Second, consider rising an hour earlier. The early morning hours have a special quality. The world is quiet, distractions are minimal, and willpower is at its peak. Many of the most successful people I know are early risers precisely because it gives them control over the first hours of their day. You know, there's a powerful concept called the 40% rule, popularized by Navy SEALs. The idea is that when your mind is telling you you're only about 40% done, you have much more in reserve than you realize. This applies to your capacity for growth as well. Whatever you think your potential is, it's far greater than that. Your daily hour helps you access more and more of that untapped potential. Let me share with you one last thought about your daily hour. It's not just about achievement, it's also about fulfillment, about becoming a person you're proud to be, about living with integrity, where your actions align with your values and aspirations. Your daily hour is a statement that your growth matters, that you matter. It's an act of self-respect. And from self-respect flows the energy and confidence to achieve remarkable things. So I challenge you, commit to 60 minutes daily. Not forever, that's too overwhelming. Just for the next 30 days, see what happens. I believe you'll be so encouraged by the results that continuing will feel like the only sensible choice. Remember, it's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives, it's what we do consistently. Your daily 60 minutes invested wisely and consistently will transform your future in ways you can't yet imagine.